All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Green White Checkered TV. It is playoff time for the Superspeedway Xfinity Series. Drivers just now rolling onto the track to make their qualifying laps for tonight's event. As always, 75 laps is our race distance this evening. And as obviously you see on the weather side of things as well, only 65 degrees. Also, track and ambient and track temperature. So say track will be nice and cool, but again, narrower track here tonight at Daytona. So probably see more two wide racing before we see that third line come into play. So we definitely saw a little bit of everything on Thursday night for the Super Speedway Truck Series with their season or their playoff opener at Talladega or at Daytona. So yeah, so we'll have to wait and see on that one as well. So right now, like I said, everybody's making their laps at the moment. And then from there, we'll pull up our top 8 in the points who will be the drivers fighting for that championship in these next 4 races. It's going to be led off there. You see it's kind of no particular order here, but you've got Quabi Brooks, Vicente Guerrero, Sebastian Marin, Cody Nagels, Todd Siebels, Michael Spill, Donald Stewart, and Peter DeBorgia. Those will be our 8 drivers going for that championship over these final 4 races. And so you can also see in the columns there, you got Peter DeBorgia with the 2 wins. Same thing for Sebastian Marin, and then Vicente Guerrero, Cody Nagels with 1 as well as Michael Spell. So say it's really anybody's guess here. I mean, so you look at the stats, and they were all very tight. They're on the top 5s, top 10s. So it should be a really good battle going to these final 4 races. As always, we talk about points. Bonus points are going to be extremely critical. I feel like could be the make or break for some of these drivers to see where they line up with over the course of this season, or these playoffs, I should say. So, like I said, qualifying still underway. Still got about halfway through, so still about 2 more minutes. So again, hopefully you all are having a wonderful Sunday, and say back to reality on Monday for most of us. So definitely got to enjoy this opportunity when we get them.
So correct me if I'm wrong. We get 4 bonus points for a clean race, correct?
I'm not going to predict anymore because I keep making the wrong call on some of these decisions. I believe it's either 3 or 5. I want to say here, I believe it's 5 bonus points for an incident-free race. I can't remember exactly which, if it's going to be 3 or if it's going to be 5. Between a couple series is one way, a couple series are the other way. But yeah, so I mean, pole position though, we know that's going to be 1 bonus point. Lap led is another. Most laps led also will give you a point. And then, of course, highest climber gets you a bonus point as well. So it'll be a lot of fun to see kind of who does what. So say we'll see some drivers that opt to qualify. We're going to see some drivers that opt to start from the back and play it safe. I think we'll have to see what the right strategy is going to be. Right now, it looks like we're going to have, again, about upper 30s on track here this evening. Although looking through my timing and scoring, it looks like we've actually got a lot of qualifiers here so far tonight, Matt. 27 have taken a lap. Which leads me to think that, again, with Daytona being the way it is, we usually see that 2x2 racing here. These guys probably wanting to opt for some of that track position instead of cruising in the back and using that third lane to their advantage later. So we'll have to see if that's something that comes into play here tonight.
I'm very curious to see what it is. I'm just going through all my notes here, see if it is 4, because those points will be a very big factor toward the end.
Yeah, no, that they will. And saying right now, we'll see. I think there's still a few drivers that have yet to put down their laps, but right now, I'm watching kind of on my side the timing and scoring. Right now, our top 2 in qualifying non-playoff drivers, so could play a little bit of spoiler for those trying to get that pole position. So might actually be that bonus point goes to somebody outside the top 8 in the points. So kind of puts everybody back still on level playing ground. So that could be interesting as well. Again, on the fuel mileage pit strategy, all that, Matt, say kind of similar thing as always here. Drivers can make it on a 2-stop strategy here, pitting just after 25 and 50 under green flag conditions. Don't suspect we'll see too much different tonight on that strategy side of things for these guys.
All right, going through my little race here thing area, it's 5 for a clean race. That's huge.
That's a lot of bonus points there. And say qualifying just completing now. So what we can do is while these drivers start to get gridded up here, Matt, we can pull up our starting grid for tonight's event. And saying we talked about the drivers, kind of who's going to make the big movements win. And so it's actually going to kick off here up front. Brian Wang going to get pole position by 5 thousandths of a second over one of our playoff drivers, Vicente Guerrero. So right there to start things off, Vicente just on the outside looking in and trying to get that pole position. Then you got Everett Lane, Patrick Groover, Cody Nagels in the top 5. Eric Laurie, Peter DeBorgia, Seth Groover, BK Anderson, and Dean Wilkinson are top 10. And continue on through here. You've got Donald Sadusky, JD Crow, Michael Pegg, Jack Walls, Jim Brooks, Quabi Brooks, Robert DuPont, Bud Steele, Derek Walker, Kevin LaChance, Al Cena, Michael Spell, Randy Miner, Brian Grimm. I say again, still a lot of drivers here. So you got Keith Horner, Bob Fitzgerald, Andrew Schroeder, Nick Monfretti, Brandon Briggs, Jay Hilliard, Sebastian Marin not qualifying tonight, Joseph Morales, Donald Stewart, Robert Rock, Alberto Lopez, and Dan Harrington in 36th. But we still got a few more there. You got James Hickson and Todd Siebels rounding out our 38 drivers that are scheduled to take part in tonight's event.
Once again, another huge field here tonight. Todd Siebels opting, as usual, not to take his qualifying time, but there's only 3 playoff drivers that did not take qualifying time. That's either they could bite him or playing out big for him.
And that's exactly it, man. So the other thing you see up here in timing and scoring, you see the little green on some of these drivers' names as it scrolls across. Those should be our playoff drivers. Say it looks like it's not working 100% perfectly here tonight. So I see one right now not showing up in that green. We'll double check to get that working correctly on the timing and scoring for the remainder of the playoffs here tonight. Also, you can also try to notify them a lot on the dash P next to their last names as well. So so it's gonna be fun. Little things we're playing with here tonight. And say I got to give a big thanks and shout out to Peter DeBorgia helping me out, just make these little improvements over the course of the season, really helping me out to just try to make little changes to make a big improvement. So, but it's going to be Brian Wang, though, on the front row next to Vicente Guerrero here, Matt. And so, again, playoff points always going to be critical. So right now you got 2nd and 5th place being our top 2 qualifiers that are in the playoffs.
It's going to be a very interesting race. That you got Sebastian Marin playing his part, staying in the back. Like I said, he's been very great last Thursday here on Green White Checkered. Flawless race. That and all his teammates, it's just amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to see what these guys have in store for us here. So right now everybody's rolling on track. One driver that unfortunately is going to start from the back and has to do a pass-through penalty is going to be that 071 of Eric Laurie. So at some point we'll notice him duck off, and he'll jump off track to hit pit road, just a drive-through penalty for him. So that'll be the other question is, do we see anybody go in with him, maybe try to play a little bit of teamwork to work with him tonight? Or is he going to be kind of stuck on his own and you get trapped a lap down early? So we'll see if anybody jumps in there with him or not. Obviously, on the playoff side of things, there's always a potential for strategy and for kind of risk and reward here. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that here tonight. So unfortunately, I'll say, of course, the one person that helped me, I'm not getting his shown up correctly, and that's Peter DeBorgia. So also one of our playoff drivers. However, though, pace car is ducking on in here, Matt, and we're about to get going here as that green flag flies. And we are underway here tonight, 75 laps at Daytona.
I believe I failed to mention you got the Gerber brothers starting right next to each other, so that's pretty huge.
Yeah, Gerber brothers starting pretty close to one another, and that's, I say, we're pretty commonly used to seeing that. You're right, though, right now actually lined up right lockstep with one another, so that'll be the question mark. How aggressive are they going to be here early on? Do they try to get that third lane going fast, or do they just kind of stay patient right now? I'm saying it also looks like I believe Cody Nagels in the 06 may be teaming up with them as well. As you see right there, though, that 14 Vicente Guerrero, he gets the lead there. He drops to the inside here going into turn number 3. The question, though, is I don't know if he's going to be able to hold that momentum and try to get that first lap led again and get that all-important bonus point, as it's going to be close here as they come through the start-finish line.
Nope, Eric Laurie's going to come all by himself here.
All right, so Vicente Guerrero, he gets a lap led there. That's bonus point for him. So check that one off the box there. It's a great way to start off the race in the playoffs for that 14 car. And then the next one in line there, again, we talked about Cody Nagels in that number 06 machine. right now just on the outside. They're sitting just outside the top 5 here. But right now these guys staying pretty content. It looks like to run 2x2, but you know, at some point we're going to see that 01 and the 02 start to really push on one another and try to shove their way forward. But we talk about drivers that like to start in the back here, Matt. Say there's one that's a notable here that's right up front here. That's that 55 Dean Wilkinson. He's opted to just go ahead and get after here right from the get-go.
Yeah, I'm very surprised. Usually likes to stick with his teammates in the back and just kind of chill out with them. He's not in the playoffs, but he's probably in here just to win it. So we're going to go full send here with 55.
Yeah, it's always a fun strategy to just try to be up front and kind of control your pace and your destiny. The other thing is I feel like Daytona, you gain more, I think, starting towards the front than you can do at Talladega, because Talladega, you got that third line, you can make a lot happen. So I think that might be a little bit worse thing. I think a lot of these drivers opting to qualify here this evening and not starting towards the back, just due to the fact that they like to kind of have that track position, because it's you can go 3 wide like we've mentioned before, but it's pretty tight when you do so. So I'm kind of leaning towards that might be what we're seeing here. These guys opting to qualify is just to have that track position right off the get-go tonight.
Yeah, I know these drivers really don't want to put the other playoff drivers in some harm's way. You know, if you run that third line, you're going to risk a lot of drivers. Whoa, you see a little bobble of the 0-2 and almost got into the 24 there. But like I said, it's a big risk if you're going to try in 3 wide here. Talladega, very easy.
Yeah, exactly right. I say it's just that the second lane versus the third lane, Daytona, and that's the thing is like you look at those tracks like yeah they're the same, but they drive so different here. As you see right now, Dean Wilkinson actually say that 0-2 got a little bit too high. I think Dean tried to give him opportunity to get in there. He's going to stay up on the top side here, so he's going to drop a handful of spots here. This is really slowing down that outside line. It's starting to open up that second lane to any takers. And say, yeah, Everett Lane is going to waste no time to hop up there. He's going to fill that gap, see if he can get that 24 here to the point.
Okay, he made it safely all the way back there. A little bit concerning. It looks like, okay, the 19's going to pick him up.
Yeah, a little bit of give and take. It looked like they're just out back there. So that being said, I think he's still trying to get to the absolute top. So I think he's still dropping back further. So maybe some difficulties in that number 02 machine. I'll say, well, to find out if we get any insight, we'll definitely relay it over to you guys. But it's really kind of shuffled this field out a fair bit. So we're going to jump back still to that 02, because this is where things get really touch and go when these guys run like they do. Say, even though you're trying to pass somebody, say that third lane, it's so easy just to make that smallest of mistakes and kind of get pinched up into the wall there. But so far, everybody playing nice, and it looks like he's going to get towards far enough in the back here that looks like part of a plan there for him. But also a few drivers that are off the draft right now, Matt. It's always a concerning here, and that's going to be Robert Rock in that 171 and Todd Siebel's actually one of our playoff contenders in that 45, so not what they're looking for here.
Yeah, they're in very dangerous territory. Like I said last Thursday, you don't want to put yourself in the hole early, because it's going to be a hard climb to get out, especially here in the playoffs.
Yeah, so the other thing coming up here, those drivers, we talked about obviously losing the draft, and also Eric Rory right now in the 071. He's pretty much heading into turn number 3 as the leaders just come out of turn number 2. And saying they're gaining on him quickly, as last time by he ran a 50.34 to a 47.21 for leader, so 3 seconds off the pace. Honestly, probably going to be another 2 to 3 laps before they get right up to the back bumper of the 071. And then Eric has to make that tough decision we talked about, Matt. Do you run the wall and try to squeeze to the back there and play it and not risk losing the draft, or do you play it safer, run the apron, but risk losing that draft and when they swing on by you?
Well, this is Daytona, and that's a tough one. You're gonna take a big risk by running the apron. It all depends where they're gonna catch you. And now if they catch you on the backstretch, it wouldn't be that bad. Now if they catch you up into the corners, if you want to drop down to the apron, it's the risk of losing a draft is very high.
Yeah, So I'll have to keep an eye and see what that strategy is going to be, because right now he's out of 4 now as the leaders are in the middle of 3 and 4. So yeah, so I mean, like I said, I think this next time by will probably be when they catch that 071 car with a pretty heavy rate of steam here.
Kind of interested to see what he does. Looks like he's going to go high.
And I think, honestly, I think that's the right call. I think that's his safest option. The one thing he does have going for him here, Matt, is the fact that they're going to catch him right out of turn number 2. Like I said, he'll have the whole backstretch here to try to build that speed back up in relation to the field here. And maybe actually he could sneak in right behind that 10, that Valvoline machine, I believe, of Alberto Lopez. Actually see Alberto there, drops low, gives him the space. And Eric should be able to tag in right there. And looks like he's still giving a little bit of extra room in the 071. But I think this will be just about where he can kind of build that speed up. But you can see these guys still starting to train him here. So his next best chance is going to be right behind that 59 here. Saying that is going to be the 59 Jay Hilliard. And I say Jay right now sitting just outside the top 30. No, I'm sorry, just mid-20s. I'm sorry, 25th. And now, yeah, now Eric Laurie gets latched on here to the field. So now he's okay. Now he just needs to keep that car clean here. As we're only on lap number 10, Matt, so still a lot of time left in this thing to get those laps back.
Meanwhile, back at the front, Patrick Rivers found his way to the front. But Dean Wilkinson has something to say about that, but he's getting a big push by J.D. Crow.
Yeah, J.D., one of the better pushers in the league. And so you got the 55 leading the 5. You got Jack Walls right there as well. Al Cena's right back in the mix. So say Al's one of those drivers that was right on the cusp of getting the win here recently. So say, Al's going to want to try to get that win under his belt as well. But right now, saying of course, also try to hook up with his teammate there in that 24 of Everett Lane. So there are some teammates starting to get close to one another here. But right now, just honestly, it's just drivers working with who they're really are around right now. I don't see a lot of actual formal teammates locked onto one another here at this point early on.
So far so good, so calm, and I really don't. Everyone's not pushing the third line like I expected. I expected just to make moves a little bit more early. That's probably your best time on the restart, but not tonight.
Yeah, right now, no big moves as of yet. As I say that, there comes the 0-1. He's going to try to control the outside lane, it looks like. And that's starting to shuffle these guys around a bunch there. It looks like he's going to pick up the 5 here. And now we're going to get our first look at 3 wide for at least the moment here. As then J.D. Crow makes a big move to the inside line to get underneath that number 0-1. And unfortunately, that leaves Jack Wall as the odd man out in that 83 car, now stuck up against that third lane. And has no remote contact. And it's going to be right in front of the field. This will most likely bring out a yellow. But actually, so far, everybody's still pointed straight. We'll see if they keep it under green, if the admins decide to throw yellow or not. But so far, we actually stay green. And I'll say, unfortunately, a few drivers. Oh, there's Joseph Morales. He winds up going around after kind of the accordion effects. And we'll see, this might be right here, be the opportunity for that yellow. There it is. Yellow is out as the 60 is trying to get back up to speed. And saying that's going to be possibly, well, to see for Eric Laurie. I believe the timing of the yellow, though, yeah, I think it's going to be a big break for Eric to get back on the lead lap. And yeah, just unfortunate that third lane there, just, like I said, it's tight here at Daytona.
Question is, did Eric get any contact with that so he wouldn't get the lucky dog?
Yeah, I'll take a look. But what this is going to do too, Matt, is it's going to cost a lot of drivers bonus points, because there's a lot of drivers that had to go off track there to avoid that incident. So we're going to go back and try to hunt this incident down here and get a better look at it. So we'll focus on Jack Walls, because that's really where it kicked off here with that number 83 machine. So you can see him up on the outside line. So we'll pick up the speed. Everybody's kind of starting to juke around and make some moves. But then, like I said, Jack was just kind of in a tough spot, and then there was contact. Don't know where officially it started, but we'll slow it down right here out of turn number 4. And Yeah, it just looks like they all got squeezed together there, and just that little bit of contact, a little bit of net code, unfortunately. And unfortunately, it's Alcina and Jack Walls that get hooked together, and then from there on out, everybody's just trying to react and just find somewhere to get around the contact. There you see slight contact between the 88 and the 26, but like I said, then you see pretty much everybody here starting to head into the grass. So you can see a great view of it here, just everybody jumping around here to try to avoid it. So this is where if you're watching and like, hey, where's the caution here? But you see like the 53, he's off track there, so that's his incident point gone for an incident-free race. Unfortunately, I was like nothing he could do there. Just unfortunately, that's what cost him. And then yeah, just kind of the accordion effect afterwards wound up getting involving that 60 of Joseph Morales. But also noticing that 048 further up of Andrew Schroeder had a lot of damage to the front clip of that car. So something happened as well, including him. You see Bud Steele with some rear end damage, and it's just everybody's just trying to get back out on track. And unfortunately, just that was where the contact occurred that brought out the yellow here.
You know what that could have been? That could have been a byproduct of Alcina trying to follow the 55 right in his front windshield. When Dean Wilkinson moved up, Alcina moved up, and Jack Walls was right there. Because you're blinded. When you look through these cars, you cannot see pretty much to your upper right corner. That I know for a fact. But it is what it is. It's racing. But on the flip side, but a big break for Todd Siebels and Robert Rock.
Yeah, indeed it is. Sorry, I was on the back. I was making some adjustments to get Peter as a formal playoff driver. You see now he's nice and green, so apologies for that, Peter. Of all people to get not showing up there, of course you. But right now though, strategy-wise here, Matt, looks like one driver here, Alberto Lopez, opted not to pit there from what I'm seeing here. Everybody else on back went ahead and did hit pit road. And yeah, so it looks like for the most part, mostly drivers just taking fuel. Only some went ahead and took some tires. Of course, the numerous others getting some damages, repairs to their machines. However, I got a request here on YouTube saying that's going to be our boy Muff here with his daughter Emma watching. And so Emma's requesting a shout out. So definitely want to give probably one of our youngest viewers here on Green White Checkered TV to be following us and to be watching with us. So yeah, so hope you're enjoying things here tonight, Emma, and definitely tell your dad here once you get a little bit older, he's going to have to hook you up and get you racing with these boys. So yeah, so Matt, this is going to change strategy a lot here as we're already on the one to go. I'll say that we pit here at lap 15 or so, 14-15 range. A lot of drivers here going ahead and topping off as well here, just get that little bit of extra fuel. But we talked about bonus points, and a lot of drivers are going to lose that clean race bonus point. Again, I mean, it wasn't a wrong call there having to get to the inside there to avoid the incident. But yeah, just got to make the right calls at the right times, and unfortunately, getting a 1X to go through the grasses, it's worth not being involved in the incident. So it's just kind of, you got to take things as they flow, and unfortunately that was the case for some of those guys. But we do have a few drivers still in the pits here, some lengthier pit stops, and Todd Siebels being one of those in that 45. Don't see significant damage. Might just be strategy call here, but he's got to get hustling here, because right now the pace car here is in 3. He's still sitting on pit road here, Matt, so I'm a little nervous for his 45. I think he's going to get trapped a lap down. Do need to mention, though, Eric Laurie is indeed back on the lead lap. But we're about to get back to green as that 45 still sits on pit road, unfortunately.
I know that Todd watches the broadcast while he races. So, Todd, if you're listening, get back on track.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. But what's going to happen here, though, is he is going to get dropped at least one lap down here, because he's still on pit road here as the pace car's off. That's going to hand it over to that 24 car as the green flag flies, and we are back underway here, Matt, to start lap number 18. Lap 17. Still a lot of racing left to go in this one. Again, 75 our scheduled distance as drivers start to jockey around here and try to find where they want to position their cars here on this restart.
He probably could be having some technical difficulties on his end. So
Yeah, that's my concern as well, is if he maybe had some hardware issues or something like that, where he's trying to get them resolved. I'll say because I mean, obviously, Matt, as being a VR user, if he's on that VR side of things, that could also be playing a role, having to try to get things resolved. But right now, though, we got the 20 of Derek Walker kind of pinned on the outside here with no help at the moment. His best option here is if he can find a way to squeeze right there. Yeah, he does it right behind Cody Nagels. And so he's able to get back in line there, but so you always get nervous when you get trapped on that outside line.
no, I get really nervous when I'm in that third line in Daytona. Who's
45 is back
now?
on track. Yeah, JD Crow working his way to the front. But yeah, so 45 back on track for Todd Seals. However, is currently 2 down. However, the only car 1 lap down or more. But the problem is he has no drafting help in that 45, so right now he's going to be significantly off the pace. But that's a really tough break here for Todd at this point. Again, we've seen before though where bad fortune actually turns into good fortune. So we'll see if that comes into play for him or not this evening. Again, still lots of racing left to go in this one.
So he's going to fall 2 down, correct?
Yeah, he's currently 2 down at the moment, as the field here is going to head through the start-finish line once again, now fully up to speed. Right now it's still, like I said, Everett Lane, JD Crow, they're the ones battling up front here, trying to kind of position themselves as being that front car in control of this race. So right now for the playoffs here, Matt, we got 3 of our playoff drivers in the top 10. Vicente Guerrero, Peter DeBorgia, and Cody Nagels right now. And then we got a few drivers that are a fair bit back here. Again, say, of course, right now, worst off is Todd Siebels there at 2 laps down. But there's also a few others a fair bit back. Let's say Sebastian Marin, he's dropped to 18th position. Again, he started from the back. I'm not sure if by choice or just maybe some issues where he wasn't able to put a qualifying lap in. Right now, though, Sebastian working his way a little bit forward here as we go. And then Donald Stewart, Quappy Brooks, Michael Spell are actually all tagged on in line with one another here. Right outside the this 2x2 packs. Right now, these guys may be playing it a little bit cautious here early on, as well as Alcina, who was in that first incident. So say he's actually found a teammate though now of that 777 with Michael Pegg. So I say he's got some comfort now to have some friends around him that he's familiar with and comfortable with racing. As up front, these guys still pretty much running 2x2, just kind of the typical 180 mile an hour or so pace laps.
I'm watching the 071, how slow they were going. He's just able to go onto the outside and just almost bypass the guys on the inside.
Yeah, so I think Eric wanting to get back up into the thick of things here. So we talked about teamwork, Matt. We're seeing teamwork right now. I say as Robert Rock, he's dropping back to pick up his teammate Todd Siebels. I say Robert not in the playoffs here on Sunday nights, is in the playoffs in the Thursday night truck series though. So I say he's kind of taking one for the team here to drop back, pick up his teammate, kind of minimize some time loss if he can. See if he can help his teammate just kind of get back into contention here. As you can see, the 5 car gets clear of the 24, drops to the inside. That's going to allow Brian Wang here to try to lead that outside line now in front of Dean Wilkinson.
That's big teamwork there. Wow.
Also seeing a few drivers here. Let's say Bob Fitzgerald. He's lost the draft here, unfortunately. Not sure what's happened to Bob, and I think James Hickson as well. This might be some more drivers here. I'm not sure if they're part of that team, the TW Motorsports or not, but I'm wondering if they're dropping off the back here, maybe to try to also help out as well. Just try to get the more cars you can to help out your teammate here. So again, the more cars you have, usually the more pace you'll have. Saying 2 is definitely not quite enough to kind of maintain at least a decent speed compared to the pack. So I'll be watching to see James Hickson and Bob Fitzgerald see what they do. But unfortunately, those two both have lost that main pack as well. But I think, I kind of get that vibe that these guys are dropping back to pick up that that combo with Robert Rock and Todd Siebels.
I was trying to look on the position of the track. I can't pick him up.
He's just entering turn 3 now, so he's a little over half a lap behind at the moment. As I'm still watching the 12 and the 8 here working together. As I'm trying to compare their lap times, and it does seem like they're a fair bit slower. However, the pace has definitely picked up for Todd Siebels. Ran at 48.73 this time. which again, still actually 47.99 now this time around. So still a little over a second off, but with 2 cars, that's honestly not too bad of lap times for them. So if they can pick up that 08 and the 12 here, I think that'll really help their chances out, which it looks like they are closing that gap pretty quickly on Bob and James there.
Yeah, he's going to need a caution here early just to even get back into contention, because once these drivers start lapping a little stragglers down and lose the draft, it's going to be impossible to get 2 laps back.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is if we can get that 1 yellow to get from 2 down to 1 down, yeah, it opens up a world of opportunities and possibilities for Todd here. So I'll say he's going to definitely need some help, some luck here. I'll say right now we're approaching lap number 25, Matt, which would normally be right inside the window of that normal first pit stop strategy point in the race. Again, with that caution early on here, everybody pitting around lap number 14, lap number 15. I'll say this will be open up some decisions here. Do they want to consider maybe pitting early, get off sequence, maybe try to work with some teammates and just make some time on their own? Or is this just going to push that pit stop from the lap 25 or so to more around to the lap 40 or something in that window?
Meanwhile, back at the front, a big pushing contest between the 5 and the 01, the 25 and the 24. That's swapping the lead back and forth.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, there's no, I don't know who to choose between this right now, because I say all 4 of these guys are really, really good super speedway racers. We've seen how good Patrick and JD are. We've seen how good Everett and Brian are. So it's honestly kind of a wash right now. The one driver who I think has the most interest in this right now is, again, I think that's going to be that 26 of Peter DeBorgia. If he can get up just a little further here. So I believe right now the only playoff driver who's led a lap is that number 14 of Vicente Guerrero. So like I said, right now Vicente kind of has that bonus point edge on the rest of the field here, with right now Cody Nagels and Peter DeBorgia being the only 2 still sitting currently in that top 10.
I still love that clean race bonus. 5 extra points, but we're still early in the race. We've got about 50 to go.
Yeah, so, I mean, the temptation is great. As you see the 01, he clears that 5. He's going to jump down low. That's going to, again, that now brings that 26 ever closer to try to get to that, be the outside leader here. But yeah, I mean, you're right though. As we got some strategy. Yep, here we go. Some of our pit stop strategy, and I think it's going to be.
We got a wreck. Oh my God, a bunch of cars.
Oh yeah, huge incident. Caution is out. This could be actually a huge break, though, for those that hit pit road here. I'm watching the 24, the 777, and the 80. They're all on pit road when that caution came out here, Matt. So they can pit here, and they can get service done. They should cycle out in front of the field. As you see, the 80 drove through. However, the 24 and the 777, they went ahead and got service done to their cars. So they should cycle out as the leader here. But, yeah, we got to go back, though, and see what brought out this yellow here, Matt, which I think just that pit stop by the regulators there may have thrown off some of those other guys.
I think everybody got a little mass confusion when they were starting to pit. I have no idea.
So we'll take a look and try to see where this all kicked off here. It looks like it was... I mean, it definitely happened right around pit stop time.
I see. 55 focus on that one. You should get your answer.
Okay, I see. I'm trying to get to the pit stop for those guys, because like I said, that was right where it kicked off once they hit pit road.
That's big for them. They're going to come out with a lead.
Yeah, it should be a great opportunity for this. So here we go. We'll start around Michael Pegg hitting pit road. But then we're going to look around that. You mentioned the 55 machine here. So you're trying to find him on my timing and scoring. Oh, yeah, you see the 55 kind of went a little bit towards the middle there. Not sure if he's trying to get around the 25 or what happened, but yeah, then you got contact right in front of the field here. Saying it once again right in front of the flagmen here as they go through the tri-oval. And like you said, again, just a tough spot to be in, as, yeah, you see numerous drivers getting caught up in this one here. Again, it's one of those ones, like, it's going to be easier to see who wasn't involved than was, including Sebastian Marin, again, one of our playoff drivers. He gets a pretty good shot in there as well. So yeah, so I think I saw at one point the 53. Yep, the 53. See him going up and around the 88 of Michael Spell. Some more of our playoff guys. Vicente, or sorry, yeah, Vicente Guerrero is also in it in that 14. So yeah, a lot of playoff contenders involved in this massive incident here, Matt. And we'll see on the drivers a lap down or not here, but that could have been a big break for that 45 of Todd Siebel's. I believe we'll jump back live here, but I believe that should put Todd here back to 1 lap down. And like we said, Everett Lane, Michael Pegg, they do stay out here. They've gone ahead and they should cycle towards the front. However, a few of those guys are able to get out of pit road before that 777, so I think Michael Pegg's going to drop back behind a few of them. However, Everett Lane will indeed restart here, I believe, as our race leader. But I'm watching Todd Siebel's here to see if he gets to get that wave around here and swing on by, as indeed he does, Matt. So that's going to put Todd Siebel's that important from 2 down back to 1 down.
I think it was 5 playoff drivers was involved in that. That's terrible. That puts him in a hole early.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the damage to Vicente's car. I mean, that thing is really hurt. It looks like the front and rear clip are both off of that car. Not sure if he was able to drive to pit road or if he had to take a tow. That could also play a big role in where he cycles out in this whole mess. And then, like we said, some of those drivers also caught up in that one. The 53. Some of these drivers may have had to take a fast repair here, Matt. So I'm wondering about the 88, the 53. Maybe they had to do the same. I'm not sure about on Donald Stewart's side in the 78. I believe Peter DeBorgia, Cody Nagels, I think they got through unscathed. They're going to be 2nd and 3rd here.
Mm-hmm. I was watching his replay and whoa, what a sigh of relief.
And Sebastian Marin here was getting as much damage as he could fixed under caution. He's going to roll back out here just before he gets put a lap down. And the same thing goes for Vicente Guerrero, Alberto Lopez. So yeah, these guys were opting to get damage repaired manually. These guys all minute and a half pit stop times. I mean, there's a lot of damaged race cars here. The 02, the front end looks pretty good here, Matt. On the 02, the Yoshi Supra, the rear clip though completely gone. Still got a spoiler, but no rear bumper section. But I do worry about Sebastian though. He's got pretty significant damage both front and rear. And same thing, Vicente, I think, probably needs to take that fast repair, unfortunately. That car is really hurt. And I see Michael Spell, he's coming in, I think, the top off, I believe. So let's see, we're on lap number 30 here, Matt. Talking about fuel window, everything like that. This can they make it possibly on one more stop? I think it's right on the outside edge right now.
Yeah, let's see, 30, 55, 75. Yeah, they'll be able to go one more stop.
Oh, yeah, actually, yeah, one stop without any troubles because they split it up. It'd be about 22, 23 laps per run. So, yeah, so one more stop here to the end for these guys on fuel. But here's a big opportunity, though. Look at Peter Borgia here. Matt is going to restart on the outside of the front row next to Everett Lane. And then Cody Nagel is going to restart inside of row number 2. You got Donald Sadusky in 4th. And then you got BK Anderson, Michael Pegg in row number 3.
I think Vicente must have heard you because he went in and got his fast repair.
So now the only downside is now he's off on his own. He doesn't have any drafting help as we get back to green. But I think that probably is the right call. But he does say now he's just got to play it safe here and make sure he gets all the way to the end. As right now that inside lane's got a really good start here as they get back up to speed. So now actually advantage could go to Cody here if he hangs out that 24 here. He can hop up in front of 26, and that's exactly what he does. I don't think the 26 wanted to give him that spot, but he had no choice there, and he's going to actually kind of push the competition at this point to the front of this field. As you see there, BK Anderson on the inside, but right now Peter giving a big shot to that to that number 06 machine, try to get around that 24. So again, I think if these guys work together, again, just get that bonus point. Just one thing to kind of check off their list here over the course of this race. Big move right there, but that 07 of Robert Twan to get to the inside line. I believe Everett's still the lead at the line. They're not sure who led that lap, but I'd say right now the 26, his job is going to be to just try to push that 06 clear of the 24. That way he can once again be the one to lead the outside line. But right now, Matt, that third car on the outside line of I think it's Donald Sadusky just isn't quite tight enough to really help that outside line kind of get that momentum built up. So I think that's going to keep the advantage to the inside lane. As you can see, the 01 tucked up right onto the back of that second place car in the 32.
Once again, we got the 45 trailing off to the back again. I think the 55 is going to come back and pick him up. He's been having trouble on the starts. Maybe playing a little bit too conservative, I think, there by Todd Siebels.
Yeah, Todd maybe playing it too safe, but he's also got Sebastian Marin, and I believe that's the 02 there, along with him as well. So he's got some help with Seth Groover, and like I said, he's got Dean Wilkinson now, so it's now a 4-car train here. And actually, I see Robert Rocker in the 171. He's coming back as well. Michael Spell, he is right now the last car in this lead pack draft in 30th. So right now, they're going to have to kind of try to hustle back up to get to these guys. But right now, yeah, it's pretty much these guys up front here. But like I said, the outside line just doesn't have the formation here. They aren't locked on tight enough to be able to get to the front. There's a lot of movement there out of 4. But right now, the advantage is staying with that 24 of Everett Lane with B.K. Anderson as his pusher.
Oh, we got contact.
Yeah, 29 Nick Manfredi down to the, we still got drivers moving around. They're trying to hang on to it here. And we got trouble right in the back there. Jack Walzer on caution is back out. That's going to put us under.
Big break for Todd Siebels.
Somehow Jack Walls winds up on his lid here. It was the 02 gets into him there. I almost got Jack uprighted there, but unfortunately Jack's going to stay turtled here. It has to take a tow, unfortunately, but yeah, so they started off right around the 29 there, and then not sure what happened afterwards. So once again, we'll go back here. We're going to try to focus on that number 29 of Nick Manfredi. So I believe that's where things really kind of kicked off here. So let's go back to Nick. So we're going to back it up here, pick up that number 29 machine. You see Nick down on the inside lane here. Doesn't look like he's in any sort of a bad spot at this point. So let's just see what exactly occurred here. And actually, he just kind of drifts up there into the 071. Not sure if he thought he was clear or just maybe just misjudgment. But then what happened there was then everybody reacting to, you see the 12 car gets kind of lifted up in the air there behind him. And then from there, just everybody's trying to react, and then it's just kind of that accordion effect with everybody trying to hang on to their cars here, Matt. Because we'll drop it back even all the way to Jack Walls there, who had to take that tow, unfortunately. As you can see, these guys are still trying to recover their cars, and Jack just unfortunately gets hooked by the 08 into the 88 of Michael Spell. I believe if Michael did take the fast repair, Matt, that's going to put Jack in a bad spot here, put Michael in a bad spot here. But then somehow this 83 gets hooked on the slide here, and it just rolls his car. I'm not sure, maybe it looks like actually maybe someone had some net code or something that got into him, but so you watch as he drops down, he got the brakes locked up, and yeah, that's an interesting one. That unfortunately flips him up and over, so that puts us back under yellow here. We got some mixed strategies here, Matt, of drivers staying out and pitting. It looks like about the top 10 are going to stay out. Peter DeBorgia, though, going to lead the field onto pit road. And the question mark is going to be Lucky Dog. I'm watching Todd Siebels, and he's got a pretty good head of steam here, Matt. I believe Todd Siebels back on the lead lap with this caution. And there he goes.
I think Quabi's in big trouble here. He's already used his fast repair, and he's got significant damage on the 53 car.
Yeah, Michael Spell in similar boat there. I think he had to use his as well. And, that 53 is destroyed. So, yeah, if he had to use the fast repair in the first one, at this point, this is going to be a big hit for him in the points. Michael Spell doesn't look as difficult, as bad of damage. But, yeah, that 53 is definitely in big trouble there, unfortunately. So, right now, just attrition right now, Matt, kind of the name of the game here. So, pit stop wise, our top 8 stayed out from Everett Lane to Bud Steele, and then Peter DeBorgia going to be the first off of pit road, and then also an opportunity for some of these guys to get some more damages repaired to their machines. See Sebastian Marin still trying to get his car back into one piece. save that fast prep if he can. Again, also one of our playoff contenders. But right now, we've got numerous drivers here now a lap down or more. Brandon Briggs is 1 down, as well as Michael Spell in that 88, Nick Manfredi. And I think Jack Walls, yeah, we'll say having to take a tow, he's still also at least 1 down. So, yeah, it's attrition's been the name of the game here, Matt, as not quite even at the halfway point.
Yeah, I think Quabi's done this race, so that as far as Jack Wallace and Michael Spell. It's a tough break for them guys. You're pretty much safe right in the back. That your answer is probably no, but whatever the 45 is doing, I would probably be doing the same thing he's doing right at this moment in time.
Yeah, you don't know when and where is going to be the right place to be, and yeah, so far, knock on wood, it's been good for Todd Siebels. That's put him back onto the lead lap here. But some of the other drivers, I mean, Cody Nagels, Peter DeBorgia, they've been in a good spot here. They've been, I think, just in front of the trouble or near it and gotten around it. But yeah, I mean, Vicente Guerrero, we saw him get involved in that previous incident. Like you said, he got that fast repair and stayed on the lead lap critically, so now he's back into the thick of things as well. But yeah, you're right, though. I think the 88 to 53, they're definitely going to be on the outside looking in on the points here after tonight's race, though, it looks like. All right, Matt, so we're going to restart this thing at lap number 38, which I believe will be right at the halfway mark. So again, on the pit strategy side of things, I believe we're still 1 pit stop away, but what this could open up here, though, is an opportunity for these drivers to maybe take a short fill, not have to put that second can of fuel in, shorten that pit stop a lot. So maybe we see these guys in around lap number 52, 53 range. Should be easy enough to do, so we'll have to keep an eye on that, as it's going to be the 24 of Everett Lane leading the inside line, Cody Nagels to the outside. That 24 is our control car as we get back to green here. Goes a little early there and gets a great pickup here from that 32 of BK Anderson as they get back to green. However, these guys are spread out right now, Matt. I think you see the 24 is trying to get hooked up to with the 777, I think. They haven't been able to do so yet. Well, you saw Cody Nagels there. He was able to get to the inside line. He jumps in front of that 24. But if that 24 can clear that 19, and he does, he's going to jump back up top. So now it's going to be that push and fight once again.
They got teammates on the bottom pushing each other now. So BK Anderson making his presence known up toward the front now.
Yeah, so this is where that 06 here, Cody Nagels, he just wants to get a good push from BK to be able to clear that 24 car, at least get that lap led here as they come off of turn number 4. That the 24 has just got a nose ahead, but the inside line is going to be just a tiny bit shorter. But once again, it's that 24 that leads that lap there. As right now the 01 here, he's working that third lane, and look who's up there with him, Mr. Third Lane of Keith Horner. So these guys have given up on riding, say they're ready to start racing here. The 20 car as well, Derek Walker, he's going after it here as well. So these guys are starting to pick up that aggression here as we just approach that halfway one.
Oh boy, picking up this aggression, but well, I think it's a little bit early in this race. That's just my opinion in general. But looks like BK backed off a little bit.
Yeah, so BK backing off a bunch there, which is really going to hurt the 06's chance to lead that lap. We talked about he's just trying to go big bobble by the 19 there. He's just trying to get a lap led, but once again won't be able to get it done there. So this time it's Patrick Gruber that leads that lap in the 01. As you can see, everybody's starting to try to squeeze one another to find that spot. There's not room there. Big contact there. And again, another incident here. So now it's just the drivers trying to follow one another as we're back under yellow here with a handful of cars once again involved, unfortunately. You see the 20 there, Derek Walker by far probably looks like the worst of it for a lot of these guys. But I think Keith Horner in the 37 was also involved there. As it looks like actually he had to take a tow here. And that was just a case of, I think those guys are just trying to follow that lead car to the middle, to the bottom. And just there wasn't room, unfortunately. I think I also had a 24. Looks like some pretty significant motor damage if that was who I saw as well. But yeah, let's go back here, Matt. We'll take one more look at this one. as we get back under the yellow here for the fourth time this evening.
Yeah, that was a little byproduct of a little bit too aggressive too early, but I could. I don't see how where it kicked off, Gaio. I don't know.
So it was towards the front because they'll say what happened was Patrick Groover was cleared, but I think what happened was Keith Horner was trying to follow the 01 behind him, and then just wasn't quite clear of that 19 of Donald Sadusky, and unfortunately just kind of got hooked in the left rear there. But honestly, I mean, there's nowhere for Donald to go here. He's got the 06 to his inside, and then he's got the 20 and the 37 kind of to his outside. And so you'll see right here, you see the 01, he kind of moves towards the middle, and then we'll watch the 37 tries to follow through there. But at this point, there's just no room for the three of them, and unfortunately, that was just Keith, I think, just like I said, just trying to follow that pack. But unfortunately, it was Everett Lane we mentioned there. He just wrong spot, wrong time, just gets hooked right into the right rear. And then you see these guys all wrecking behind, unfortunately. I'm watching Peter DeBorgia trying to get through unscathed. You see him just drift in that car here through 1 and 2, and I think he does make it by there. We saw the 06 Cody Nagels, he got through as well. But then unfortunately some of these guys further back just not quite as lucky. As you can see, more and more cars getting caught up in this one. So once again, it's going to be one of those who wasn't involved, unfortunately, type of incidents, which unfortunately you kind of see at these super speedway races just with the pace of these cars. So back under yellow though here, Matt. A lot of drivers here hitting pit road. And this is, I still think, outside the fuel window, but I think these guys are just trying to pack these things full of fuel. As you see the 00 getting back on the lead lap. And right now, Vicente Guerrero going to cycle out in second. And Cody Nagels, though, first car out of pit road, he's going to cycle out in the third spot. So while we're under yellow here, Matt, say we'll take a quick break here, and we'll get back on the one to go. So stay tuned, everyone. Right, as you can see, lights are off of the pace car. We saw Vicente Guerrero, he hopped down pit road there. So that's going to move Cody Nagels to the front row here. And then Karen, yeah, I'm not sure why you're not able to see the running order. I apologize for whatever's going on there. Not sure what it would be. I say not sure if it's the broadcast quality or something on the TV side or what. So, but yeah, say right now. Right now, the 01, the 02, Patrick up in 5th, Seth in 10th right now. But say we still got lots of racing left to go here. We're going to restart with 32 laps remaining here. So yeah, still lots of racing left to go in this one. So Joseph Morales is going to be our race leader on this restart here. As again, you see the flagman ready for these guys to get going. So again, it's up to Joseph when he wants to go, if he's going to wait for that green to fly or go a little early, as he is down and away. Green flag is out as we get back going here. 32 laps remaining in this one. As they have down the back there, Cody Nagel's got a big push here from the 01, but right now it's just the two of them. And there's a big lineup here of drivers on the inside line. So I'll say it's hard to say where the advantage is going to be. We've seen how strong that 01 is as a pusher. And he's starting to pick up some friends here. It looks like starting to peek to the outside. I see Eric Laurie working his way up there. I think I see the 28 as well. As I see Vicente Guerrero, having to I think, serve a pit penalty in that 14 car. Huge hit for him here in the standings. Again, I mean, I'm looking at the playoff drivers right now. So now you got Vicente down almost in the 30s here. Say Kobe Brooks, Michael Spell still sitting on pit road as well. So right now we got 3 of our playoff contenders in the upper 20s, if not even in the 30s here. So I think that's just Vicente pitting when the pit lane was closed, having to serve that penalty. But now you see the 06 Cody Nagels, he is up to the front here. And I think if he didn't get it last time, we'll finally get that bonus point to get that lap lead here in the 06.
I was able to snag a little bit of insider info. What happened to the 45? He lost his brakes.
You don't need brakes.
Yeah, well, you got to stop in your pit.
No, you just use other cars to brake, but no, that's a good reason to have to lose some positions here. And I may have spoken too soon. Not sure if Cody led that last time around, but this time by it was the 01 had cleared that number 06 car. So Patrick Gruber now back to the front once again here. So I'm not 100% sure if Cody was able to get a lap lead that previous lap time around. But yeah, so right now though we do have 27 cars here, Matt, in this lead pack. The 14 of Vicente Guerrero, he has pitted to serve this penalty. He is 1 lap down right now. The problem is, though, Kevin LaChance is also a lap down, and he is further up the field in the main draft here. So right now, say Vicente, that pit penalty for that car in the 14, that's going to be a huge hit for him potentially in this points here, as we're down to 29 to go. Still got 1 pit stop for all these drivers, but right now is not the first car one down in that 14.
Patrick pretty much running a flawless race here. No context, no incidences. Just keeping it clean.
Yeah, and probably one of the few so far in this race, because I mean we've had 4 cautions at about the halfway point of this one. So and we've seen the incidents, they've been pretty severe as well. So right now, if you have an incident-free car and been able to keep that thing in one piece, that's a really good position to be in. So right now, like I said, Patrick doing exactly what he needs to for his end to say. He's not worried about points and playoffs and all that. He just wants to win these races. I think he can use that to his advantage when he gets towards the closing end of this one. So his brother of the 02 machine of Seth Gruber, he's just a little further back here. I say he's back in one piece as well. I think had to use that fast repair though, unfortunately. Well, actually, no, I lie. He's still got the rear clip missing, so he's still up this thing along and might be without a fast repair, or is trying to save it just in case. So we'll have to keep an eye on the 02. But right now, it's just been a battle. Right now, these guys 2x2 here, the 01 and the 071, as that third car on the inside line of the 60 of Joseph Morales. He's dropped a fair bit back here, so that's allowing this outside line to get a little bit more momentum with Dan Harrington being the pusher.
Haven't seen Dan much up toward the front this season. It's glad to have some new faces up toward the front.
Yeah, Dan's, I think, been kind of just cruising so far early. Obviously, he's obviously been involved in some sort of event, so you can see the rear of that car just kind of center punched in there in the 82. However, currently plus 32 positions from where he started. So started towards the back there in the mid-30s, and he's worked his way up into that top 5 right now as he's got Bud Steele right behind him. I think these guys are making good ground. Like the 01's going to clear that outside line. This is an opportunity for Cody Nagels here. If Cody chooses to, as I say that note, the 071, he's going to drop to the inside lane. I was going to say it's a sweet opportunity for Cody to try to jump up and lead that second groove and try to get that lap led if he hasn't got one yet. But we're getting to it, Matt. We're at lap number 50 here. Next somebody's going to be 25 to go. We talked about the fuel window. These cars can get over 25 laps per tank. Do we see any takers to short pit as soon as that window is open? Maybe a bigger group of teammates working together. So right now, here they come. Actually, we got some of the drivers here. We got looks like the regulators coming in, also with Peter DeBorgia, Sebastian Marin, and then you've got Brian Wang as well. So we've got 5 takers here, Matt, hitting pit road basically right when they felt like that window was open.
That's a pretty good, decent amount of people there. Big group, big names.
Yeah, I say it's 5 drivers, but 5 very good drivers as well. So this, as long as they all hit their pit well here, say they've got it'll be a really quick pit stop because they didn't need a lot of fuel there. Last pitting in around lap 41, 42. So let's say they'll easily clear out in front of the field here. And right now, it looks like they've got 4 of them locked on pretty well together with Peter DeBorgia, Brian Wing, Sebastian Marin. Unfortunately, it looks like Michael Pegg kind of dropped off. Here comes the reaction here. These guys wasting no time. They're going to jump in with Patrick Groover, Cody Nagels. Let's say who else we got there? Robert DuPont, Bud Steele, Seth Groover. Donald Stewart's in there as well, one of our playoff drivers. So this
Everett Lane got busted speeding.
Oh, no. Everett Lane, yeah, still sitting on pit road. Didn't see that one, unfortunately. So that's going to now cycle things up here now to Donald Sadusky with JD Crow. And so it looks like we've got about 10 drivers here, Matt, who have yet to make their final scheduled pit stop. So we'll have to keep an eye and see everybody cycles out.
Yeah. Well, the 06 and 01 get out cleanly right together. That's what you want here.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. So we'll switch over to them real quick to see. Actually, as I said, Dan Harrington, he's going to come in on his own here. But here's the 06 and the 01 coming out together. So now the question is, where's that second packet being led by Peter DeBorgia? Here they come. And it's just the 3 of them, but they've got a pretty good head of steam here with that 23 and the 25. And they are trying to work their way to the front here, jump around that 06 and the 01 here.
Oh, they are hauling.
Yeah, they're making good time. They easily clear that pack. However, they won't be able to break the draft, I don't think. So they'll probably start to get the 06, 01 to tag onto them. So we'll keep an eye. But these guys, you can see, though, they're going for everything right now to try to stay up front if they can. But right now, like I said, they still got a handful of drivers who have yet to make that final pit stop with about, looks like the top 10 here, starting with Donald Sadusky, JD Crow, Eric Laurie. And then you got to drop back to a little bit more here to Alberto Lopez. These guys have lost those top 3. That's not what they want to see here. They need to try to catch back up to that pack there, be able to pit further towards the front of this field here. As right now, Dean Wilkinson, the last one of this lead pack here in that 8th position, now 9th.
I don't know how I got to check on their lap times. Last time by, Donald Sadusky ran a 48.2. Peter DeBorgia ran
47.2.
Wow, that's time gained.
A full second's a big margin there. And what they have done here, Matt, is they have broken away from part of the field here. You can see Patrick Gruber right now. He's going to be kind of the tail end, I think, of the cars here. If he can just tag on to Derek Walker here. But actually, his ticker is going the wrong way from these guys as well. So it looks like it could be about about a 7-car train. The question is going to be if Patrick Gruber, if they try to pick him up here, they're going to try to swing around here because that could double the amount of cars here. And I see the 02 there as part of that group, and I think he's going to ditch that 78, pick up his brother here. And we know what kind of damage those two can do when they're locked on together.
The question is, when are they going to pit?
Oh, no, these guys are good to the end here, Matt. Yeah,
really?
The 01, the 02. Yeah, the question is going to be the top 10 drivers from Donald Sadusky to James Hickson. They still have to make their final pit stop at some point here in this race. And right now the lap times are just not what they want them to be, because right now they're still running in the 48s. Peter DeBorgia is in the 46s now. Bud Steele running 45.91 to catch to the lead pack here, as now he's worked his way to the outside line. Sebastian Marin trying to lead that outside pack here, try to get to the front of this one. And that car looks awful clean here. I think Sebastian opted to use that fast pair under that green flag pit stop there. So right now these guys running 2x2. Looks like about 8 total cars in this pack. And then Patrick Seth Gruber trying to lead that charge behind him here right now, just outside of a second behind. And I think they can get it done here, so I think we might get back to about a 15-car lead pack here. But like I said, right now everybody's going to be kind of keeping an eye on these 3 up front, plus the remainder of that top 10 with some of those TW Motorsports drivers.
Well, I think Patrick's found his brother now. I thought about pushing it 3 wide, but I just tucked in right behind the 24 Everett lane there.
Yeah, so they've found that pack, and so yes, that's going to greatly increase the pack here. I'm saying that's going to really help their lap times as well. So I'll say again, I'm going to keep an eye on lap times right now. Sebastian Marin now leading this pack. There's a 47.64 for Sebastian, although Don Sadowski is a 47.30 the last time around. So I'm going to say they have started to pick up those lap times, and Todd Siebel's leading with Robert Rockdean Wilkinson. They were in the 46-second bracket, so they're starting to make a big charge here as well to get back up into that top 3 battle here. Again, still need to make a pit stop, but they've opted to go with that longer approach here, run it later, and maybe, of course, as well, that big pack behind you. You never know if and when there could be a yellow, so not a bad thing to be off on your own, because we are back to 3 wide here in this pack behind.
I get a little nervous when they go 3 wide here at Daytona, but it is the Gruber brothers, but they are very aggressive drivers. They know what they're doing.
A little bit of contact there between the 6 and the 01 there through the trouble. They see a 53. He's backing on track, Matt, but with no front clip on that thing, unfortunately. So he's just going to try to log some laps and try to see if he can maybe just gain a couple of spots through some of the attrition for drivers around him. Right now in the 31st position. But yeah, right now these guys 3x3 for about the, say right now it's showing outside the top 10. Of course, once the pit stops happen, this will likely be the lead pack right now. So right now Sebastian Marin kind of net leader, if you will, pending our final pit stops.
I'm just getting a little nervous watching Bud Steele. No,
you saw it and you called it, and they're spinning. So far we stay green. Caution is now out. But yeah, so you saw it as it was happening there, Matt. You were getting nervous, and you were exactly right to be nervous there. Unfortunately, you see Everett Lane on pit road there. I think Jim Brooks had to do some evasive action through pit road. But yeah, that's going to put us back under yellow. So this will allow those drivers that stayed out here to pit under caution flag. I don't think they'll be able to stay. It just depends on how quick they get to the pace car and where the rest of the field lines up. But let's go back though first, Matt. We'll take a look at that incident there out of 4. So we'll back it up just a tiny bit there. It just looked like Bud just kind of, not sure if his aero washer just got loose or what, but yeah, just unfortunately out of turn number 4, just things got a little tight there. As you can see, kind of drifts up a little bit out of 4 there into the 01-02 battle on the high side. And then you can see, I mean, that thing is on a 4-wheel slide there, and that unfortunately gets him right into the side of Brian Wang. I'll say nothing Brian can do. That just loops Brian straight around as well in that 25 machine. And then say unfortunately, then again, just everybody just reacting behind. You see the 51, he gets a little bit of contact from the side and behind, and just makes that decision to just go straight to the pits. And then the 777 to Michael Pegg, he gets just unfortunately hit at just the wrong time. That includes him and the number 59 there, Jay Hilliard. And then a little further up there, the 24 car also involved with the 78 as well of Donald Stewart, one of our playoff contenders. So again, we talked about playoffs here, Matt. These guys, say just more and more drivers getting caught up in these instances. Here come our leaders here to hit pit road though. Oh, JD Crow just a little too hot there on entry. So these drivers, they say quick pit stop for Don Sadusky here, and say it looks like he's going to cycle outside of the top 5, as it looks like about 7 drivers opt to stay out under that caution who had already pitted. So they feel like they're good to go on fuel. So it's going to be Don Sadusky winning the race off of pit road. He'll be in 8th, but it's going to be Sebastian Marin that's going to take control of this lead here. And see, importantly though, Vicente Guerrero here, Matt, he stays out. However, he last pitted at lap number 44, so he's still not good to go to the finish in that number 14 car.
Yeah, that's well. I was quite interested to see if it would have gone green there, see where Donald Sadusky would have played out, where in relation to the guys who pitted already. Maybe they would have. I'm just thinking about maybe about 3 or 4 seconds behind him, because they were losing about a half second to a second a lap.
Yeah, it was definitely going to be tough sledding for those guys. So yeah, this caution could have been the best break that they could have hoped for, honestly. Because what it does do too is I'm watching some of these drivers towards the back of this pack that pitted there, like Todd Siebels. He had a 15-second pit stop. So to me, that says 4 tires and just fill that thing up with fuel. No questions about green white checkers. He's good to the end. Say James Hickson, I think, did the same thing in that number 12, and then some of these other drivers as well. I think Dan Harrington also. So and a few drivers, they went with the shorter pit stops. Dean Wilkinson, about a 7-8 second pit stop for him. Eric Laurie and company. So kind of some mixed bag of strategies, trying to get to the front, some trying to get those tires and fuel and just make sure there's zero question of how far they can go. So yeah, so the question will be, did these guys up front, how tight did they put on fuel? Because we've seen it before where Sebastian, he's been on fumes at some of these races, and he's already starting to run this apron here, Matt. So if we get into green white checkered territory, not feeling the most confident if I'm that 23 car.
I hardly recognize his car because he runs a black scheme. I didn't really recognize him toward the race, but he's known for different paint schemes. But I think he's just being on the conservative side, just in case if we get a green white checker.
Oh yeah, no, I say these guys know. I mean, we see it even in NASCAR itself. I mean, these guys take every opportunity to just save every drop of fuel they can under yellow. So you do see on the ticker though over on the left though, unfortunately Michael Spell has retired. Looks like he's going to end up 35th. Colby Brooks is currently still showing in the 31st position in that number 53. So yeah, he's just trying to limp that thing along. Vicente Guerrero did get one of his 2 laps back doing that wave around here, Matt. But like I said, Vicente's going to need another caution to get back into the race here because he cannot make it on fuel in that 14. So it's still all to play for here as we're going to restart this thing, though, with 13 to go.
We got 3 of our top 5 all in the playoffs right up the front.
Yeah, it's always funny how once it comes crunch time, they find their way towards the front. So yeah, you got the 23, the 06, the 26, all right there together in that top 5 as we get back to green. So it's Sebastian Marin and Patrick Brewer leading the field.
I'm just watching the 26 get now. Well, he's one of those good pushers, trying to push the 01 to the lead, and looks like he will. Oh, he does not come down on Sebastian Marin.
Yeah, may have not been quite clear of that 23. Didn't want to risk it, so he stays up top there. But I'll say he should have some pretty good momentum here out of 4s. Again, starting to get a little bit more bobbles in the sides. So these guys, again, starting to get a little dicey, a little antsy. As we still got plenty of time to go here. 12 laps remaining here at Daytona. Oh, we got contact in the back there. The 777,
no.
I believe that was.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, caution's back out. Oh, here they come right into the thick of it. And, yeah, that's going to put us back under yellow here, unfortunately. But yeah, I think I saw the 777 there of Michael Pegg. I think it may have been the 5, if I'm not mistaken, of JD Crow. And, yeah, that car is significantly damaged. So that was actually the perfect break for Vicente Guerrero, though, Matt, there. He gets gets the wave around, he gets the caution he needs as well. I think now the question was, as long as he wasn't involved in this incident in that 14, although he's missing the hood of that car, so not feeling too confident about that. And then Kevin LaChance being another one of those drivers 1 lap down. So let's go back though. Let's see what exactly happened here. But yeah, it looked like it was around the 5 and the 777. So let's go back to that.
It looked like a byproduct if there was a lane open. It was like very tight, tried to go for the lane there, and the hole like quickly closed on him, and it just started a whole bunch of chain reaction.
A little further forward here. As I said, we're again focusing on the 5 there, and then that 777. And let's see, he's trying to find where JD, there's JD. And yeah, I think you're right. I think he was just trying to sneak in right behind the 55 of Dean Wilkinson, but there's too much closing rate for that 777 there of Michael Pegg, and unfortunately, say they kind of met in the middle, and I say they both tried to hang on to. You see Robert Rock though, he gets hooked in the left rear as well, and then at that point, just everybody's once again here, just along for the ride at this point. So you see Eric Laurie, he sneaks to the outside. Looks like the 20 gets through as well. But Robert Rock, he definitely goes for a bit of a ride. And oh, there's the 20 once again. Just no luck for Derek Walker. He gets right into the thick of it. The 12 as well. You see the 82. I see the 78 cutting to the bottom. I think he gets away with it. And I'm watching some... You talked about brakes not working. So I think that 45, he's got his brakes pretty dialed in now of Todd Siebels, as he's actually... Oh, actually, I think he had some contact from behind from Jim Brooks, possibly, as he had to do a little bit of off-roading there as well. So at this point, Matt, I'm not sure. There might be 1 or 2 at most of our playoff drivers who are incident-free. My only guesses are possibly Cody Nagels and Peter DeBorgia. But I think everybody else probably has had to expend their fast repairs, or at least has like an off track or something like that. So this bonus point thing could be a huge deal if any of our playoff contenders actually still have it in the bank.
Yeah, Cody Nagels had to go off roading there, and that pretty much cost him his little incident race there. But there's only one driver that has been clean the whole entire race, and that is the 01 of Patrick Gruber. Incident free so far.
So that tells you right there then. So yeah, so none of our playoff contenders are going to get that. Again, that's 5 bonus points, Matt. Just unfortunately, just due to circumstances, some out of their control, some just wrong place, wrong time. None of those drivers are going to benefit from those 5 bonus points of our playoff contenders. So that's going to keep everybody pretty tight in the points there. Say if you got a top 3, top 5 finish plus those 5 bonus points, that could really propel you a fair bit up here. So right now, though, I'd say that probably means Sebastian Marin, Cody Nagels, Peter DeBorgia, they're probably thinking win here, because that's going to really give them the most points. That'll really kind of jump them up in front of the field here, as we're going to get down to single digits on this next restart.
Yeah, I'm going to just see what happens. And once again, you see Sebastian Marin saving every ounce and every caution, like you said. I probably would be doing the same thing.
And the other thing I got to mention, Matt, is that somehow that 53 car without the front end was the lucky dog there. So that tells us as well that, unfortunately for the 19 and the 14, that they were involved in that incident, so they don't get that wave round. You see that 14 just trying to limp that thing to pit road. It looks like, I said, not sure if the motor may have popped for Vicente. So yeah, I mean, again, talk about playoff contenders. You got the 88 and 35th. You got the 53 and 31st. You got the 14 and 26th position. Dalton Stewart, he's worked himself back up into the top 15 there in 14th position. And then you got some of the top 5 there. The 3 of them are together here. And then Todd Siebels as well has kept himself fairly clean, up to 13. So it's really kind of shaken up the running order of these playoff contenders here. So once again, though, we're going to restart this thing, Matt, within 10 to go here. Going to restart with 8 to go. But yeah, it's not looking good for Vicente, unfortunately. I think that could be night over for him. And right now, looking like we have about 20 cars here, maybe about 23, 24 or so roughly on the lead lap. But we're going to definitely, it's going to be once again kind of an attrition event here to see who's going to be the right person at the right time to try to hang on to this, get this win here.
I noticed he was slowly crawling to his pits, so he must have some motor damage. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I kind of think the same. So it's going to be Sebastian Marin leading the field here back to green as we're watching it off the back of that 23 as he gets going, starts going through the gears here. So you got Cody Nagels right behind him. You see you got the 01 of Patrick Gruber to his outside, and then again the 26 of Peter DeBorge to his rear bumper. So you see the 01 and the 02, they're getting close, Matt. They haven't found themselves back together yet, but I think we will before the end of this race.
Oh, we will. It'll be a matter of time. Probably when it comes down, maybe about 2 or 3 to go. We'll see about that.
Right now the 01 just a nose ahead, not enough to clear that 23, so they're going to stay side by side entering turn number 3. The next time by it's going to be 7 laps remaining. I'm watching also some drivers starting to peek in, though we haven't talked a lot about Alberto Lopez sitting in 7th on the inside line in that number 10 machine, but you can see again everybody's starting to get a little tighter on each other, squeeze each other that little bit more, push a little bit harder as we're getting to the final section of this race here. The question mark is going to be when and who will be our third lane drivers to kind of hop to that top and try to make something happen.
You know, we haven't talked about all race, but we kind of sort of did. But he's running in 6th spot right now. We're talking about Robert DuPont and having a great race, great night tonight for him.
So I'll let you be the one to tell them that they're doing a good job, because I never goes well when I do. As you see right there, Patrick Gruber just able to clear Sebastian Marin. He drops to the inside, and that's going to now allow that 26 of Peter DeBorge to lead the outside line. But once again, you can see just it's taking a little bit of time for them to get reorganized here. And really, actually, at this point, if Sebastian chooses to, he could hop up top there. And there he goes. He is going to jump to the top side. And it looks like Cody's thinking about going with him. But it looks like Cody's going to stay in line behind that 01. But that's going to now, puts once again that 26 on that 2nd position. Oh, the 02, big bobble there to 1 and 2 after touching the apron. And now these guys are starting to jump around here, try to move positions. And that 01. Yeah. Oh, I think this is a plan to get the Grubers together, but that's going to now force a 3 wide here. Sebastian Marin, though, he's going to just clear him, but that again leaves Peter DeBorge on the outside looking in here.
Wow, what a move.
Oh, big bobbler, big push in the turn there to 01 and 23. 23 hangs on to it, but that was tight there through 3 and 4 as business is picking up. And you see Peter DeBorge, he's dropping number of spots here back. Eric Roy's trying to pick him up here, but unfortunately he is now down just outside, or right at the top 10 mark here. That was the last thing that 26 was looking for there.
That's racing. You caught right in the sucker hole, as we used to call that back in the day.
Yeah, so look at the 78 here. Donald Stewart, again, he is still in this hunt as well. He's maybe missing the rear clip of that car, but he's still going after it as well. But I think right now I'd not be feeling super confident if I'm Sebastian Marin. Now, as I say, though, he's going to drop low. I was going to say Sebastian probably can't feel confident leading the 01 and the 02 because you feel like at some point they're probably going to ditch him. As we're at 5 to go here, 4 to go at the line. So we still got a lot of racing, though. We'll see if they can get to that white flag. At that point, all bets will be off. As we talked about before, if there's yellow before we get that white flag, we will get into that green-white checker territory.
I'm just focused right on the front right now. It's either the Grubers are waiting to push a right exact moment. That might be the key to victory for their.
Yeah, there's definitely strategy of when to make the move here. And so the other thing too is, for that 02 of Seth Gruber, he's got to make sure he keeps the temperatures in check on that car before he gets to the very latter stages. Because if that car starts to get hot with 2 to go, he won't be able to push efficiently. But right now we've got a lot of movement once again here. You saw the 26. He was trying to make the third line work. Now it's the 19 of Donald Sadusky. He's popped up to the top there trying to make that third lane happen.
Oh, I'm nervous right now.
Yeah, so these guys are going to start to squeeze each other even tighter here as we've got 3 to go.
Well, it is crunch time, so.
Yeah, at some point these guys are going to have to make the moves, and so they decide now is the time to do it. So you've got Patrick Gruber on the middle, you've got Sebastian Marin on the inside, and now you got Donald Sadusky leading that third lane. You see that on the outside, I think that's BK Anderson. He's picked up to join in on the fight here, as we've still got about 2.5 laps left to go. Saying again, about a lap now once they get out of 4 here so to get that white flag, and that's going to be the flag of these guys going to first be looking at to see if they race it out to the end.
Man, I'm like literally just biting my fingernails here.
Yeah, no, this is like I already, like, my palms are sweaty just watching these guys after it. So we've got 2 to go here. They come through 1 and 2 to get back onto the backstretch. You can see it's 4x4, or sorry, 3x3, 4 rows deep. But right now, it's Donald Stewart trying to lead that outside line with Peter DeBorgia pushing him. We got the Groover brothers in the middle, and then you got Sebastian Marin and Cody Nagels on the inside line. And again, they're starting to pinch each other just a little bit more here, Matt. So right now, these guys, if they can get through 3 and 4, get through that tri-ovals, the 01 and the 06, almost make contact there, then it will be a official race, and they will race it out to the checkered. And it looks like we're just going to get there. As we get the white flag out, we got 1 to go here, Matt. It's going to be who can bring it to the start-finish line here first now.
Oh, God. I'm even nervous now to see what's going to happen here.
So now there's no field questions. Now it's all about just who can get the right push at the right time.
Really close between 07 and Donald Sadusky there on the outside.
Yeah, the third lane's fizzled out, unfortunately, a little bit. They're also catching traffic here. These guys, you can see them. They're trying to drop to the apron. You see Dean Wilkinson. He's trying to find room to get to the bottom. There's no space there. Right now, it looks like it's going to be between Sebastian Marin and Patrick Groover, but we got traffic in front.
Please drop to the apron.
Oh, we got contact in front. No, it's going to be now chaos to the line. And that was the last thing anybody wanted to see here. So it's just going to be who can get to the line. It's going to be Alberto Lopez finding a way to pull off a win here. Brandon Briggs going to grab second. And I think going through the grass, Brian Wing's going to somehow hold on to the top 3 finish there. But yeah, that was the last thing any of those guys wanted to see. And you're right there, Matt. You're saying just please let it drop to the apron. That did not happen, unfortunately. And that's going to definitely leave a sour taste in a lot of our drivers' mouths here tonight.
That was... I have no words.
Yeah, I say that's going to be for us. That's not for us to make calls on, so we'll have to let the powers that be decide on that one. But I mean, as far as it goes, I think that's going to wind up being how the results go here tonight. We still have a few drivers trying to make it to the start-finish line here to finish it up. However, at this point, I mean, we're going to have to say it looks like it's going to be Alberto Lopez going to be our race winner this evening in that number 10 machine, saying he will be a very happy camper in that number 10 Valvoline.
Is that his first win? Don't know. I have to check on that one.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye. We'll have to go back and check the stats, and I think it might be. He may have one already. I'm not sure. But yeah, so at this point, I say again. I mean, there's only so much we can say at this point. We don't know 100%, but I say Alberto was the one to get to the line first there. So I believe at this point he would be declared our race winner. So while we watch him celebrate, we will pull up our, we'll say, unofficial final standings for tonight. As you got Alberto Lopez over Brandon Briggs, Brian Wang. You got Dan Harrington, Joseph Morales, our top 5. And then I said drivers that were kind of in the thick of it, then just everything kind of went south there. Cody Nagels, Todd Siebels, Dean Wilkinson, Peter DeBorgia, Jim Brooks, top 10s. Then you got Patrick Groover, Donald Sadusky, Robert Rock, Donald Stewart, Sebastian Marin, Eric Laurie, BK Anderson, and Robert DuPont are top 18. Continue on through here. Then you've got Seth Groover, Bud Steele, Kevin LaChance, James Hickson, Derek Walker, JD Crow, Michael Pegg, Vicente Guerrero, unfortunately, 27th. Randy Miner, 28th. Jay Hilliard, Quabi Brooks, Everett Lane, Keith Horner, Andrew Schroeder, Michael Spell, Al Cena, Jack Walls, Nick Manfredi, and Brian Grimm were our 38 drivers taking part in it tonight. All right, Matt. So we'll take one more look at this thing as they came out of turn number 4. And then at that point, we're going to leave things for the admins to figure things out here. But so here's the field here coming out through turn number 4. And it's just, yeah, I think it's just indecision there. You see the 6 of Bud Steele. He's trying to roll the apron there. But then unfortunately the 12 just, I don't know if it's just indecision or what happened there, but just unfortunately just kind of right in the middle of the field. And I mean, there's the field, I mean, they're just going to be going for it there, unfortunately. And so that's, you can see, I mean, it's just a massive incident. Somehow the 10 just kind of scoots out from behind it. And then you see everybody else here just trying to find a lane through and get to the start-finish line as quick as they can. But I got to find Brian Wang here because, I mean, look at this 25 car. He's all with the apron. He knows that he's going to see the pit cone here in just a second. And he's going to cut straight to the right of it to make sure he avoids that pit cone. and then he's going to start sliding across the start-finish line because, again, he is able to hold on to a podium by 800ths over Dan Harrington, and saying, here's the gap right here. So what for the start-finish line right there, and that's the margin of victory between third and fourth. Say taking the grass shortcut, not shortcut because he's having to save that car, but finding a way to get that top three finish in that 25 of Brian Wang. So just wild one here tonight. So we're gonna have some interesting interviews here. So we'll start things off with that number 25.
See if we can find him. There he is. I got him.
All right, so we're going to kick things off with that number 25 of Brian Wang. So, Brian, I know you've definitely done your fair share of racing, super speedway racing. That was probably one of the crazier endings that you've been a part of, and I'll say never the way you want these things to finish. But I mean, first off, we got to commend you though for doing some pretty good off-road driving there through the grass there to hang on to that top three finish. I mean, take us through those final couple laps. You see the traffic coming up. I mean, did you guys have any concerns like, oh, they'll just drop to the apron, or at what point was it like, this is going to be bad?
Yeah, we were hoping that they learned their lesson from last week after someone else did the exact same move, well, a very similar move when we were free wide, but no, they just did it 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, not ideal. Say obviously only so much I can on my side I can really say about it, because let's say I'm not the powers that be on the broadcasting side of things with the admins, but and then just the race itself, I mean, it was calm, it seemed like, to start things off, and then just it was like right around the halfway point, it was like just the switch clicked, the third lane started forming, everybody started getting a little more aggressive. Was it noticeable on your guys' side as well that just it seemed like there was a certain point where just everybody's strategies kind of started to ramp up a little bit? Or I mean, what did it feel like behind the wheel for you with just the way the overall race went tonight?
Yeah, towards the end, we had some really good racing. Obviously, everyone was on a very similar pit strategy towards the end, and yeah, it was some great free ride racing before it got ruined.
Yeah, definitely a wild one this evening, man. But like I said, I'd say probably one of the crazier ways you finished third here over the course of your racing career. So, but before we let you go and try to get some more interviews in here, we'll definitely want to give you the floor for any thanks and shouts you'd like to give for that third place tonight.
Yeah, big thanks to Team Bootnaka, Eric Laurie, Gabe Butler, JD Crow, Peter, and Sebastian. And shout out to J Concepts, based out of Groveland, Florida. And shout out to the best Area 51 driver in the history of Area 51, Kevin Freeze.
That is our third place finish there.
I'll take that on that one.
Yeah, that's fun. But yeah, no, great job tonight, Brian. And so enjoy that top three. And like I said, hopefully we get things kind of squared away for the next races. But yeah, good job tonight, and great job hanging on to that thing through the trial, man.
Thank you.
Good job, Brian.
Thanks.
All right, I'm trying to hunt down our third place finisher. I'm not seeing him as, second place finisher, I should say, of Brandon Briggs in the 00.
I've been trying to
found him yet. And it's like the next question is, do we even have our race winner in here of Alberto Lopez? Usually Alberto's around. I'm trying to find him as well. So we want to try to talk to our top three. So we'll pull up the 00 for now though of Brandon Briggs, so you can see him. I say he sees the incident coming. He goes to the apron, tries to avoid. You got Dean Wilkinson going for a ride there. So just incidental contact. There's Brian right behind him trying to get through, and then it's just everybody's just trying to grab a gear and go as quick as they can to make that race back to the start finish line. You see, there's the 82 Dan Harrington. That's how close these guys were battling for that final those top three positions there. So. Unfortunately, Matt, though, it looks like we might be doing a solo interview here tonight, because I say I haven't seen a 00, and I don't see the 10 as well, so we'll keep an eye out for them and see if they pop in. But so that was Brandon Briggs' run to the line, and then of course Alberto Lopez was able to kind of just pop through that somehow. So I'll take one more look at, and we'll watch this from Alberto's point of view as well, slow things down just a little bit with the contact. Actually, it's too far back. Let's go a little further back here, and we'll watch from that number 10 car on board here through the roll bar to see what he was able to see. So you can see there's Bud Steele. He's on the apron. That's about all you can do. And then, unfortunately, there's where all the chaos happens. You can already see he gets a little bit of contact, and he just looks for the light beyond the end of the tunnel, if you will, and peeks right through there, able to grab that position. And then from there, he's just off to the races there, as everybody kind of is wrecking behind him. So, yeah, unfortunately. Oh, actually, nope. I'm jumping the gun here. Now we can pull in that number 10 of Alberto Lopez. I was going to say, is like I definitely want to make sure we can pull in our race winner and have a chat with him. And man, Alberto, Matt and I were saying, I mean, that's probably one of the crazier finishes we've seen over the course of the seasons here with Area 51. How wild was it for you to kind of peek through there, and then as soon as you get through the wreck, you kind of check your intervals, check your mirrors, like, I think I got this one. I mean, how crazy was that for you, man?
I was not expecting that, and we had some slow cars at the end, so what I did is I just prepared for the worst, and I looked at my mirrors. I noticed that Robert DuPont was really close to me, but I still had to take the risk. I had to move to the right to avoid the wreck in front of me, and somehow I made it through that whole wreck, and it was awesome. First win at Area 51, so I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, and that was Matt. We were kind of curious. We weren't sure if that was your first one or not. So I know you've been in contention before, but so yeah, it's always fun to get your first win. I don't think we've had someone get their first win in probably a more spectacular fashion than that, man. But
Yes.
yeah, I mean, just a great job tonight. Like I said, and also, I mean, 34 positions gained tonight. So worked your way from the back to the front to get in contention there as well. And as I say, pit stops and everything, you did a great job as well in that 10 car. So hats off to you, man, and definitely want to give you the floor here for any thanks and shouts you'd like to give for that win this evening.
Yes, of course. I want to thank my team, even though they're not here tonight. They've been really helpful. They've been training me. We've been racing together. So thank you, TJ. Thank you, William. DJ Sports. Check them out. I'm really happy. I want to thank my family. Sometimes they watch too. My mom, my dad, and I want to thank you guys. You're awesome at broadcasting this series. So keep it up. Keep up the good work, and hopefully this won't be my first win. There will be more.
Yeah, no, I think we'll definitely see more out of you. You've definitely been in contention numerous races, man. So yeah, but it's always really good to get that monkey off your shoulders, though. So definitely enjoy this one, though, Alberto. Like I said, well deserved finish, wild finish there as well at the end. But yeah, definitely enjoy this one, and look forward to seeing you again on track here soon, sir.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, that is our race winner in that number 10. And I think I just found the double zero, so let me drag him on over as well. And we'll pull in that double zero of Brandon Briggs. And Brendan, I mean, you had to find a way to kind of sneak through some of that chaos as well. And so you made a good move to kind of cut straight to the apron and basically go as left as you could there. And then it looked like kind of a drag race out of four, but between you, Brian Wing, who's in the grass, and Dan Harrington up top there in the 82 car. I mean, what did you see from your point of view on that final lap through 3 and 4? And I mean, did you have a plan to get through it, or is it just kind of close your eyes and hope you poke through? Hopefully, maybe some technical difficulties. We'll keep him here for the moment, see if we can get it squared away. So we'll hang out for just a bit, but before I'll say we'll keep an eye. So Brandon, if you hear us and if you're able to hop on in here. But Matt, that was a wild one for playoff race number 1 here tonight.
Yeah, that was really totally unexpected, but hopefully everything will get sorted out. But all in all, the last 5 laps were very enjoyable, very exciting to watch. Those guys were on pins and needles on 3 wide situation here at Daytona. It takes a lot of, as you would say, focus on trying not to hit the car beside you. But other than that, great job by those guys.
Yeah, exactly right. And that, I mean, Daytona 3x3, it's no easy feat. So definitely, like I said, hats off to them for running 3x3 as long as they did. And unfortunately, they would have been able to get through. It looked like perfectly as well through 3 and 4. Just unfortunately, I said the way everything unfolded at the end, not ideal. But I'll say we'll let the powers that be take care of that. But like I said, just a great job for all these guys though. And yeah, hopefully, well, they definitely want to try to get a chance to chat with Brandon. Not sure if he's got the mic squared away, not or yet. But if not, we'll find a way. We'll get an interview with him maybe next week, but pre-race, because we don't want to keep everybody here too late as well. So definitely want to thank you all for watching, for supporting us here at Green White Checkered TV. And Brandon, I say apologies, man. We'll get you next week, though. I promise we'll get some more interviews with you. But I mean, great job getting through that thing and still having a chance to be there at the end. So hats off to you as well, sir. And yeah, congrats to our top three there of Alberto Lopez, Brandon Briggs, and Brian Wang. All right, Matt, that'll do it for us tonight. Tomorrow night, playoffs continue over on the Monday series with the next gen cars on Max Speed TV. Say Tuesday night we got the open wheelers over on back on Green White Checker TV. No playoffs there. Say just the normal regular season points, and then the playoffs continue once again Thursday and Sunday once again. So Matt, as always, man, a pleasure to do this with you. Wild one here tonight at Daytona, but I say it's going to be Alberto Lopez enjoying that big win here tonight.
I think that would be win number 5 as far as our first-time winners, and I'm loving every second of it.
Yeah, it's fun to get these first-time winners. You know how much it means to them as well. So thank you all so much for watching, for supporting us here at Green White Checker TV. We'll be back on Tuesday night. So until then, hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Hope you had a good weekend as well. Until next time, though, take care, stay safe, and have a good night.
Good night, everybody.